Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Margarita, and today I'm here to bring you the top 18 books that I would love to read in 2018. The way I picked these books to be on my TBR are either I was incredibly excited for them, or they're just books that have been on my shelves for the longest, or I feel that I really need to make the push to read, because if I don't read them now, I'm never going to read them, so I might as well, push myself. If I don't read them, I'll just get rid of them. The way I used to buy books before I discovered BookTube was I'd buy, let's say, 10 books at a time, but I would read all of them and then go out and buy 10 more books at a time. And then I discovered BookTube, and my book buying habit got out of control. I just started buying books. It didn't matter what they were about, anything, as long as I had heard someone talk about it, I bought the book. So now my bookshelves are incredibly overwhelming for me. Not in a bad way. I mean, I love having all these books, but I want to read them. I don't want them sitting here collecting dust while I continue to buy more books. I love owning books. I have no problem owning all these books. I need to read them though. So that's how I decided which of these books were going to be in this TBR. So first and foremost, I'm going to start off with the one that I'm afraid that I'm going to forget, because I lent the book out to a friend, and that is Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan McGuire. I have the second book here, just as a placeholder. So I really love her Wayward Children series, and I pre-ordered the Beneath the Sugar Sky, and I had to read it, and within 2 days of owning it, I had started reading it, and I absolutely loved it. So done and done. It's already off my list. I read it and I'm so happy. So the next book that I would love to read is The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is the companion, or the second novel in his The Shadow of the Wind book, and I believe that it's a loose trilogy. I thought that it was a standalone, but he wrote 2 other books following the main character, and I believe this is the second one. I think you can read them in any order, but this is the second one that he published. So I'm really hoping to get into this. I loved The Shadow of the Wind. It's one of my favorite books. The writing was so beautiful. And then I read, I can't remember the name of it, I believe it's Maria by him or something like that. And I did not like that book at all. The writing style was not the same. It felt like it was 2 different authors, even though it was the same man. So I'm really hoping that this stands up with The Shadow of the Wind. Otherwise, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. But I want to get this read this year. Oh, and these are in no particular order. They're just kind of thrown on my bed, and I'm picking them up as I go. The next book that I'd really like to read is The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is his second book in the Kingkillers Chronicle series? Ooh, is that the name of the series? Anyway, yeah, Kingkiller Chronicles. This is the second one. He has not published the third one yet, so I was really hesitant to put this on my TBR for this year, but I know that if I don't read it this year, because I read the other one last year, I'm going to forget and I'm going to have to reread them. So I'd like to just kind of have the basis now, and then hopefully he'll publish the third book soon, and I won't have to reread them all, but if I do, I'll have a basis to go from. The next book is The Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marillier, and I've read some of her other books and I really enjoyed them, and I have, I believe, the first, second, and fourth book in this series, so why do I have those books just sitting there not being read? So I'm going to start the series this year. I'm noticing a lot of these books are pretty thick. They're like 400, 500 plus pages, and that does not bother me at all. I love books. I don't care how long they are. The next book is also a long one, and that is The Master and Margarita, and this is by Mikhail Bulgakov. I don't know how you pronounce that, but okay, the real reason I bought this book is because it has my name in it, and I was like, this book has my name. I need to own it. And then it was just sitting on my shelves, and this cover is beautiful. Gorgeous. I love it being on my shelves, but it only gets to stay on my shelves if I read it. So I'm making myself read this year. This is such a pretty book. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's not why you read books. At least it shouldn't be. But that's why I pick them up. Anyway, the next book that I'd like to read is The Cruelest Month by Louise Penny, and I believe this is like a murder mystery or something. I don't really know. I got this on Book Outlet. That is a very dangerous site, and I don't remember what this is about, but I know that I need to read it or it needs to go. One or the other. I can't have all these books. The next book that I would like to read is The Red Queen by Philippa Gregory, and this is a historical fiction. I have the other book, I think The White Queen. I don't know. I have another book in this loose, I think it's a trilogy or something, but I've heard good things about her writing, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. I've had it for like 2 years. So, not today, but this year is the year. Now's the time. The next book that I want to pick up is The Borgia Mistress, and this is by Sarah Poole. Again, this was a Book Outlet order, and I went through a very big phase of loving the Borgias and the Medicis and stuff like that because of series that I was watching on Netflix. And The Borgias with Jeremy Irons is such a good series. You should watch it. But I had just finished that series and I went on Book Outlet and I saw this and I was like, wow, I need to read this. And then I never did. So this is going to get read this year. The next book that I would like to read is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. I really don't know what this is about. I'm not gonna lie. The cover really sold me for just wanting to own it. And that's not a good enough reason to buy a book. So I'm going to make myself read it. The next book is Storm Siren by Mary Weber. I have the entire series. It's a trilogy. I have the whole thing just sitting on my shelves. Haven't even started the first book. Why did I buy the whole series without knowing if I liked it? Book Outlet makes me buy books. So I figured I might as well read this. If I love it, I can plow through the trilogy and get it done and see how that goes. The next book is a book that I am currently reading, and that is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. And so far, really, really loving this book. I cannot wait to finish it. Becky Chambers can do no wrong in my opinion. I love her books, and I will read anything that she comes out with, and I cannot wait for the third book in this series. The next book that I'm hoping to read is The Historian by Elizabeth Koskova. And my God, is this book big. It's like over 600 pages. You could probably kill someone with this book. And if I remember, I believe this is a mystery. I don't know, but I remember the back really caught me over a year ago. So do I remember what this is about anymore? No, I think that this is like a horror novel. So I'm going to probably save this closer to the autumn or the fall times, especially around, I almost said Christmas. That's not when you read horror. Halloween, close to Halloween. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this though. And if I like this book, I have another one of her books called The Swan Thieves. So if I like this, I'll pick that one up also. The next book that I'd really love to get into, and I don't know why it's taken me this long to even think about getting into it, is The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I have heard nothing but good things about this by people that I trust their reviews and their opinions. Nothing but good things. And I've owned this for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years at this point. Why have I not read this? Why? Remedying it this year. It will happen. I will read it. I'm going to do it. The next book is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons, and I started this book. I think I got like 20 or 30 pages in. I was like, dude, this is boring. But I want to give it an honest shot, and I figured this would be the year. And again, this is over 700 pages, so it better not be boring. I've heard some problematic things about this series, but I heard those after I bought this book, and I would like to at least try it for my own opinion before I decide whether or not I will continue on. But I definitely want to get to this at some point. I believe this is a historical fiction set in Russia, a love story. I don't really know anymore. It's been so long. The next book that I need to read, if I do not read it this year, I will give it to a friend of mine who's been interested in reading it, and that is The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. I am about 82 pages into it, and I've started this book a couple times, and I can't really get into it. I don't know if I'm giving it an honest enough shot. I know that when I started reading this book, at least the last time, I was not in a very good place in my life, mentally, emotionally, you know, career-wise. Like, I was just a mess. So I think that might have hampered some of my enjoyment of the book, but I definitely want to give it an honest shot. Like I said, it needs to happen this year, and if not, I'm going to let it go, but I need to give it the shot. So here. Oh, we're almost done. We have 3 more books. If anybody has stayed this long, thank you. The next book that I would really like to read is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. This is the second book in the Bone season, I believe. The Bone season. And I really, really liked the first book, and I'd like to continue on with the series. So I've had this sitting on my shelves, haven't picked it up because I've been reading all these other books. So this will put it at the forefront of my mind. The next book that I would like to read is That Part Was True by Deborah McKinley. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare. I have no idea what this book is about. My mom gave it to me last year for a present. I don't remember what for. Maybe Valentine's Day. So I've had this for about a year now, and I just need to read it. And it's so short. It's one of the shortest books on this TBR. It's a little over 200 pages. And I really want to read it because she gave it to me. So that will be the next one. Maybe I should read that this month. Maybe. We'll see. And finally, this book has been on my shelves the absolute longest. It has survived all the unhauls, and it needs to be read. And it needs to be read soon. And that is The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. I believe that this is some sort of fairy tale retelling. I really don't know. But I remember I was very interested in it when I picked it up. And like I said, this has literally been sitting on my shelves unread the longest. And it has survived like 7 or 8 unhauls. So I just need to read it. Clearly, I'm saving it for something. Not to collect dust, though. So this is the last book that I'm hoping to read in the year 2018. You guys, hold me accountable, please. If you see me doing my recent reads and you don't see these books, call me out, because this is ridiculous. I need to read them. Although I've read one and I'm in the middle of a second one. And I have 2 more that I'm hoping to read very soon. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you next time. Bye.